Honey, we are down here to talk about the Real Housewives of Atlanta. So they're in Portugal. The girls are in Portugal, and they're sitting down eating. And Drew is upset about Sheree bringing up the lawsuit. Drew says it's not funny to her. Sheree was like, this is a bunch of dramatics. It is drama. It is a lot of dramatics. And Candy saying and scene, people think that you're acting, is because it seems like you put extras on your expression, and you are dramatic, and maybe you being an actress just makes your emotional expressions exaggerated. And so it seems like you're acting, because are you really crying over $1,000, Kenya? If you don't shut up talking about we can split $1,000 8 ways. Do broke bitches split lawsuits? Girl.
I just, girl, stop.
I said, Kenya, shut your ass up, stupid as hell. I'm like, Kenya, why would Kenya even say some shit like that? Even what? Anyway. So Sheree says, she brought up things that she learned about me online. Sheree likes to do a lot of get back. Sheree does get back. Every time Sheree does something to you, she has an explanation of why she did it to you. And it's usually she's getting back at you for something. It's always tit for tat with her. The clothes were confiscated. You act like it don't have nothing to do with you. It's your brand. It's your business. It's your name. And you want to act like people taking things back have nothing to do with you. And instead of being defensive, say, I apologize for that. Those clothes should not have been taken back. What are your sizes so I can get you what you need? But instead you become defensive because you know that the whole shit is full of shit. Sheree is so full of shit. Drew says she's really dealing with shit in her life. And, Kenya calls it. She says it's about Ralph. This is not about $1,000. This is about Ralph. And I don't know who this woman is that is trying to get money out of Drew. But, Drew has a bunch of people around her doing a bunch of shit, chefs, assistants. What do you do that you need these many people around you? What are you doing? So you're gonna get God. You're gonna get somebody in there who just wants to be close to Drew Zadora. They may not even be a goddamn chef, but you so thirsty to look like you got something going on over there. You so busy, you need all these assistants. If you can afford a chef, shout out to you, because I wouldn't mind having a goddamn chef, a butler, and a chauffeur. Do you hear me? Honey, if I didn't have to cook, if I didn't have to drive myself around and bring my shit, if I could afford it, I would definitely, girl. A chef? Absolutely. A butler? Absolutely. The chauffeur and the butler can function as the same. Absolutely, I would. Shit. I wish a motherfucker would say something, girl. But Drew, you letting all these people in your house, and then next season we don't see them. You starting to look like Sonia Morgan, how she hires all them people to intern for her, and we don't see them the next season. Well, because they're interns and they go off to the next phase of their educational career. But it's coming off like you really don't need all that help. Marlo asked Candy, are you going to check on Drew? She says, no, I'm going to the bathroom. Like I said online last night, the lack of enthusiasm that Candy has in response to people being in pain or hurting or something is so unbecoming. It's so ugly. And it just reminds me, right? I don't really like Candy's personality. I don't give a damn if she is tired. You saw your friend fall outside and you just looking over like this. You don't really want to go to the hospital with her. When Drew is crying, you get up like, girl, whatever, but you've hired her to be in a movie. Let me tell you something. Something's going to happen. Mark my words right here, right now. Something's going to happen between Drew and Candy's going to say, well, I gave you an opportunity, right, to be in this movie, right? She's always reminding somebody of the opportunity she gave them. Girl, like I said, I don't really care for her personality. Shout out to the candy-coated clique and the candy-coated warriors and the candy-coated crusaders, honey. But I don't see it for her. Sorry, I just don't. I think she's whack as fuck. Like, when I saw her, the way she walked away, I don't give a fuck. Drew, you just hired Drew to be in a movie, and you think she's being overly dramatic or whatever like that. But when you was sitting on the stage talking about the lies, the lies, the lies, were you being overly dramatic? Because you sure were sitting down at Portia's wedding. So were you saying the lies, the lies? Was that being overly dramatic and seen, girl? Girl. Y'all can keep Candy, honey. Y'all can keep her. Keep her. Drew is insecure about Ralph going to Las Vegas, and that's basically what it boils down to. She shares with us that the woman at the video shoot invited him to go try out for like a chocolate version of Magic Mike. And so that's what is happening there. And so she's insecure about it because she knows her nigga ain't shit, right? So I don't know how you guys thrive in relation. You can't thrive in a relationship where you don't trust your partner. You're in survival mode, because I couldn't live like that. As soon as trust is broken, I'm sorry, especially the infidelity trust, like, because women and men exist wherever you go, and if I have to be worried about wherever you go, you either sleeping, who I don't know who you sleeping with, I don't know what, girl, that is not a life to live. It's not. You can't thrive in a relationship where you can't even rest on a vacation because your blockhead nigga, blocked body shaped ass nigga is in Las Vegas. Girl, you in Portugal and you worried about a musty ass nigga in Las Vegas? Girl, I wish. Let's pretend. Sonia talks about having respect when people are speaking. That's a common theme among all housewives, is, they talk over each other, they yell over each other. Respect somebody when they're saying something. um Kenya makes a joke talking about, okay, we have your 2 cents, Sonia. I'm sure we can find a jar to put it in or something like that. And then she was like, Sonia, I like Sonia. She knows I'm just joking. But as soon as Kenya says something, you see Sonia was started. Yeah. She started to get a little defensive. They can't take Kenya. I don't think that they quite understand her yet. They want to put her in the position. They want to function with Kenya as if she was on the old season. So anything she says is immediately inflated, and oh my God, she's a mean girl, right? Courtney's bitch ass when Kenya fell, that fucking bitch. I said, maybe the karma is that y'all didn't get into a fucking car accident in the rain, and Kenya's falling kept all of those events from happening, right? While you want to talk about karma, bitch. I was like, you all really see karma as a punishment system. We don't need those negative energies. The universe has a way of getting rid of the negative energies around and this and that. And the truth is, Candy and Kenya can go, and Sheree can go. Just make the show with the new people. I want to get into Courtney's business, right? We want to see how your karma turned out. Since it's a punishment system, we want to get in you and Bryce's business. Right, exactly. Put what's her name on the show so she can have a personal story, so we can dive into her life and see how karma has been enacted in your life, Courtney, you raggedy, musty, chirping asshole. Candy isn't available to the group. She says, I feel like I'm still building. Right. Candy is like operating, you know how Wendy was operating over there, just taking anything, grabbing anything. Candy says, basically, once you have it, you don't want to lose it, and you'll make sure and you do everything not to lose it. They're looking at Candy like, girl, you need to be relaxing. You done built and built and built. You need to be relaxing, right? You need to. And do you trust Todd enough to run the shit? Because he could be useful that way, goddamn. What else does he fucking do, Todd Burris? He needs to be useful that way. This woman done built an empire. I wouldn't even trust him to maintain it, to be honest. But anyway, that's what Candy basically is. Her mentality is, once you have it, you don't want to lose it, and you will do everything you can to make sure you don't. And it's real. She says, they say, well, how do you balance your friends and me time? She says she doesn't understand self-care. She doesn't understand self-care, and she just keeps working. I'm working. And then I think it was Sheree was like, when is it enough? Sheree was like, I don't work, honey. I just got me a fucking clothing line. I'm overpricing everything, so nobody will really order from me. and you really can just rest and just scam. I'm telling you, Sheree's an old school scammer. She's an old school stunt queen. I promise you. The next day they get up. I thought what's her name's glasses were fucking dope. Drew's glasses were dope, but she was doing denim on denim on denim. Denim on denim on denim. Denim on denim on denim. Marlo called it denim on denim violence. Bitch. They're going to go to a market. They're going to choose their lunch. They're going to pick out some fresh food, choose their lunch, and then they're going to go back to the restaurant, and the chef is going to make it for them. Then they're going to go to a Portuguese pottery making class. And Kenya is not down there yet. Everybody is, meeting in the lobby. They are all on the bus. Kenya's walking out. First of all, it's wet. It's wet. Second of all, there was a sign that said, be careful. It's slippery. And she had on slippers, like house slippers outside. And when I say she busted her ass, she busted her ass. And she said she felt it right at, what do you call it? A coccyx? She felt it right at in her spine, like right where the spine and the other bone meet. She felt it right there, she said. She was crying. It must have really hurt. And Courtney says it's the universe having a funny way. We need to clear negative energy. She's a mean girl. Kenya's a mean girl. Drew didn't like that. Drew said, I didn't like Courtney saying that about Kenya. She said, because you got to be mindful when people are going through stuff, like the things that you say. Like I said, Kenya's fall made y'all late. And that your lateness there could have been an accident. And all of y'all could have fell off a goddamn cliff into the goddamn ocean. Okay? So maybe Kenya's fall was your karma. Girl, I was like, shut up saying stuff like, I did not like that. I did not like that. But girl, go off. And like the people on Twitter were saying, I hope Kenya cusses these bitches out and lays them out. Sheree, I hope she sees all the shit that Sheree is always bringing up about Kenya. She's always and it's really fucked up because it's always Kenya that Sheree calls when these niggas is doing her wrong. It's always Kenya.
Have I ever choked you? For real, have I? I might have forgotten.
Yeah.
Could you still breathe?
That's not funny. Sorry.
I don't remember choking her. But if I did, I'm sorry. Because maybe I didn't choke you hard enough.
But when Kenya is not there, you want to talk slick. Another one. What's the other one? Sonya. Every time you want a problem with Kenya. You want a problem with Kenya because y'all want to experience the Kenya that we got to experience when she was a villain. And she's not giving you that. She's really not. Kenya is really not giving the girls the villain. She really isn't. She's not. I think she's letting a lot of these girls live. I hope she wrings their goddamn necks at the reunion and twist it off their body. I hope so. She was like, this is the second time where Kenya gets willed out, girl. So they go to the market. They looking at, fresh foods and vegetables and stuff like that. They hold up a rabbit. Marlo said, Kenya need to go to that doctor and get her BBL, to wherever the doctor that the rabbit went. She needs to go where the rabbit went. And then they made a popping sound, which I thought was kind of insensitive because she fell on her butt and everybody thinks her butt is fake. So what do we think that Kenya has in her butt? Like a piece of silicone? Or do we think it's ass shots? What do y'all think it is? Because they made a popping sound. Like it's like a piece of silicone. Like, like in what's her name's butt. You could see it. It's like hard. Nicki Minaj. I wonder when she's going to get her ass reduced. Because that thing. Woo. Kenya ends up going to the hospital. I thought it was weird for them to think that Kenya was going to get special treatment because she was Kenya Moore in Portugal. Girl, what? This ain't Cedar Sinai, girl. You in Portugal. You going to wait in the queue like everybody else to be seen. Turns out, she didn't break anything. She'll be fine. They gave her some painkillers. She's going to be fine. They sit down to eat. Marlo thinks the server's accent is sexy, honey. She was talking a little bit about Scott Lee, how he's funny, tall, and handsome. And they were showing, clips of her talking to him or whatever. I don't understand. I mean, Phaedra, they did a good job with imprinting the idea that Kenya hires men to be on the show with her, and that completely like jumps over all the other women who have hired men or were in relationships simply for the show. Kenya gets the marker, right? She gets the letter that she hires the niggas, and nobody else gets that letter, right? Like Martell is hired. He's hired, right? Martell is hired. Scott Lee is hired. These are not real relationships that these women are in with these men, right? So we don't believe that, but Kenya is the only one that gets the label that she hires the men, when, again, we can clearly see that these men are being used as props to show that they're in a relationship. Kenya said that the Scott Lee and Marlo relationship isn't real, but the way that Sheree said it, she said it's not real, when Kenya said that that man is really, it's not real because that man is not her type. So Sheree left that out. I really wish that Sheree would have included that, but it doesn't help. It doesn't feed into the shit that she's trying to stir, right? It doesn't help. She said it was a Tinder date and that that man was not her type, and she didn't relay it that way. And you know Roy, so they bring up Roy again. Moneta says you went directly to the DM. Basically, you was trying to start some shit, and that's the reason why when you recognize him, you went directly to the DM. They said that Moneta is kissing. It's funny how when it's time for somebody to stick up for Kenya, it's like in her absence, it's like you say she's ass kissing. So is she supposed to just shut up and let you talk about her friend while you talk about the man I introduced her to? And while I'm going to talk about how you went directly to the DM and the way that you made it seem like it was just the other day, right? And the time span between what Martell did, see, and Candy explained it on the after show last week. Martell was trying to get on a show. He was trying to, two women on the same show. He was trying to get at one of them, and the fool took the bait, right? He was trying to open conversation. Y'all not gonna act like these niggas don't start with small talk in your DMs in order to open conversation, right? Roy was introduced to Kenya. Roy did not go looking for Kenya. Martell went looking for Sheree. He went looking for Kenya. People say that, I don't know if it's true, who introduced Martell to Sheree. I assume it was Carlos. I think a great idea would be if you guys acted like you were dating, so we can do a crossover between Huntsville and RHOA. You can get on that show, get a check. You can get on this show, get a little check or whatever. Yeah, let's do that. Right? Okay. So stop ass kissing. I think it's rich for Sheree of all people, who every time the bitch was fired, she was kissing a white woman's ass, up her ass. Kim Zolciak, when you got fired in season 4 and in season 7, you was up Kim Zolciak's ass, kissing it, licking it. Yeah, you was. So while you talking about Moneta defending her friend in her absence and calling it ass kissing, let's talk about the ass you like to kiss and how you lost your job every single time you was up her ass. Whack ass. Whack. Sheree said, no, Marlo said anybody with a pulse and no ankle bracelet is an upgrade from Tyrone. Right. Y'all think Martell is an upgrade, a man who cheated on his family and created a baby. You think he's an upgrade from a jailbird. Girl. Candy. Drew gets on Candy about saying and scene. They finished, right? They finished doing the dinner or whatever. They go back to Sheree's room. So they have the cameras up until about 11:30, and then they put Marlo's camera up to catch footage of them so production can, go to bed. Drew confronts Candy about saying and scene, right? And then it was funny because Drew started to get on Sheree. She was like, yeah, I really didn't, particularly care. She was like, no, we talking about Candy, right? This is Sheree steering the conversation back to Candy. So Drew and Candy can resolve that conflict, which it really wasn't nothing. Candy says, I feel like a lot of y'all are uptight. right? I feel like a lot of y'all are uptight. But she did apologize to Drew, and she's like, I was having an emotional moment, and originally they told Drew that Candy said and seen. She didn't know that because she was outside. Then later she actually confronts her. Okay, Kenya has no broken bones. Manetta and Sonia have a little fake argument, and then they go and seen. They start like getting up, and we're talking about how it's nice that everyone is getting along and this and that. Drew says you're going to find those clay, those pottery creations on She by Sheree, for $500. Sheree has her stuff overpriced, so she doesn't have to actually produce product. Right. I said she made the people go online and order it. I wouldn't order shit. You're going to have to give me this shit for free. I'm not ordering shit. I'm not ordering this fake shit at all. Back in Sheree's room, they talk about Candy arriving like Miss Cleo because she had her cornrows in or whatever. Candy comes back from, visiting with Kenya at the hospital. Kenya goes in her room to get her rest. Candy goes downstairs to Sheree's room. Drew brings up, I was having an emotional moment, and the girls let me know that you said and seen. You act like I don't have enough acting jobs. Candy says, well, I really feel like everybody is really uptight around here. And she said it's a time and place for everything or whatever. At the end of the day, I believe that Drew sees the Real Housewives of Atlanta as an acting job. Drew, I don't understand why it's a new concept for people, because Drew played Drew Zadora on The Game. Drew is playing Drew Zadora on Real Housewives of Atlanta. This is Drew Zadora. Fast forward from The Game, now she's on the Real Housewives. Drew Zadora is on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. So I truly believe that because you are an actor, you exaggerate your emotions as actors are supposed to do, which is why when people meet in real life and people have different reactions from what they've seen actors exaggerate, they don't know how to read it. For example, when somebody is laughing when they're nervous, you think they're laughing at you. You don't see it as a sign of nervousness, right? Because on television, you see, and in media, you see an exaggerated expression of emotion. And when people in real life don't have those emotions, y'all don't know somebody's smiling when they're nervous. Somebody's smiling when they're talking about something dark, right? It's a response. You're like, why are you smiling? Why did you think that was funny? And it's actually just a reaction. But you're so used to seeing actors over exaggerate that you think that's the emotion. Drew, you over exaggerate your emotions. That's why people think you're acting. Drew is playing Drew Zadora. I don't care what y'all say. Drew is playing Drew Zadora. Real life, whatever, she's playing Drew Zadora. Okay? Let's see. Did it ever occur to you that was, hurtful? She says, I'm really disappointed. Basically saying she thought she was closer to Candy or whatever. It is hurtful. Candy apologizes. She says, I'm sorry, Drew. And then in Candy's interview, she says, even right now, you're being dramatic. You're being dramatic. Sonia talks about how her sister is frustrated with her. Sonia's, basically the family dynamic is changing and she needs to learn how to let go of her family. Drew, are you still doing Drop It with Drew? She says she is. Sheree says, I haven't seen anyone support me with She by She Broke. She by She Scamming. You be a goddamn fool to put your credit card information in any system associated with Sheree. Her and Tyrone, they over there counting money. Little pennies being taken from your credit card that you won't even notice. Those pennies add up. Baby, I would never put my credit card information in anything related to She by She Scamming, She by She Broke, She by She ain't got it, She by it's never gonna come out, girl. Production wraps at 11:37, so they set up Marlo's camera. they talk about Latoya. They're bringing up the Bolo situation and Latoya and Drew making out. Now, I remember on the video, there was a video of Latoya making out with somebody, but y'all said that that was Portia she was making out with, right? So we did see Latoya on the couch making out with somebody. Drew saying that it wasn't her and that Candy is lying. And then Latoya told Drew saying that Latoya told her that Candy told her to say that. So they show the clip from the reunion when Latoya says, "You cheated on your husband with me," and Candy starts laughing. See, Candy, that's the one thing that she does in those situations. She remains sober so she can dictate the people with the lower inhibitions. I'm telling you, that lady is the freak is that she's a voyeur. That's her thing. Candy is a voyeur and she likes to give direction. It ain't no hanging from a fucking Velcro wall upside down with your legs in the splits. It's none of that. It is, I want to direct and watch. That's Candy. Child. Candy doesn't like to be called a liar. She says that she that Latoya and Drew kissed. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Drew said Latoya apologized to them for lying, to Ralph and Drew for lying. Candy says, "I don't lie on anybody. I don't like when people say that I'm lying on them." And then from what we have gathered, Candy does not lie. Like her and Kenya, those two, they've been very consistent. Things that they say, it comes out and it's truth, and we haven't really caught them in any lies. The only lie I think that Kenya is keeping up is this, girl, I need to know the story about you and Mark and how that union happened and how he was able to sweep you off your feet like that and get you in that moment to where now you got to be connected to him. I don't even know how Mark got into this, but that's the lie. That's a lie. That whole thing is a lie. Have you kissed a woman? They show 3 months later that Drew is filing for divorce. Ralph is asking, did you kiss her? Apparently, Drew is linked to Ty, who is Mimi Foss. Is that her last name? The one that was hanging from the shower curtain, who was in a relationship waiting for Stevie J to get it together after 13 years. Whew, shout out to Mimi, honey. Shout out to Mimi. But Mimi's ex-girlfriend, Ty, didn't Mimi mess with Melissa? Melissa that be with Jocelyn? Anyway. So Mimi's ex Ty, basically, I don't know why Drew started crying at the end of that. The lady was like, the producer was like, did you kiss Ty or something? Have you kissed a woman? And then they show her crying. I shout out to Drew's wig. I love the mullet wig that the girls are wearing with the little shag in the back and the little spiky hair. I've seen a lot of girls wearing those wigs. I think it's such a cute hairstyle. I really do. The rest of the zebra look, I don't get it. I really wish that she was in something else. But the hair, the little spiky, mullet in the back, I'm digging it. I saw somebody with a pink wig that was styled like that. I thought it was so fucking cute. But anyways, that was the end of the episode. Y'all let me know about it. You know what y'all think about the episode. Sorry, I didn't holler. I didn't raise my voice. But I think Sheree is whack. I think Candy is whack. I think Courtney is whack. Girl, I think Courtney is whack for what she said. But she don't like the lady. So I really believe that these women want Kenya the villain to show up. So they are interacting with her as if she's a villain. They've already have a preconceived idea of who this woman is and how they want to experience her. And she's not really giving them that. I wouldn't be shocked if Kenya was not in the first seat. I think it would be Drew and Candy. I think Drew and Candy are going to be, in the first seat, because there seems to be, like, the girls keep trying to have problems with Kenya, but it's not really landing. Like, it doesn't really land. But the issues with everybody's having with Candy, and the issue and then Drew, all this stuff with her and Ralph, it's like, big story. So I think they're going to be in the first seats. And being that, I have a feeling that someday soon we'll see or hear Candy reminding Drew how she's helped her, right? I helped you, with, getting in this role or whatever. So anyways, y'all let me know what y'all think of the episode. Let's get down in the comments. Don't forget to like the video. Take care of each other and protect your energy. Peace.